Hi everybody, welcome to the real quick video on the op-ed assignment. This is our next writing assignment. I know that we're still going through drafts of the literacy narrative, but it's really important that we start thinking about the next thing as well. The next thing is this, an op-ed. An op-ed stands for opposition editorial. Back in the old days of newspapers, you would typically find an opinion or editorial section which had the views of an editorial staff on one side of the page, and literally opposite from that page would be the op-eds, the opposition editorials from people other than the board of editors that were typically arguing the other side of what the newspapers editors were arguing. So basically, an op-ed is a very short, very succinct writing piece that is designed to advocate for a specific action on something going on in the world. Right? And I want to pause here just to say that this project is easier if you pick something you genuinely care about. All right? You are going to basically take a firm and decisive stance on some issue facing the world. And you are going to say, here is the problem, here is the solution, and here's my proof that the problem is a problem, and here's my proof that the solution will work. All right? You've only got 3 pages double-spaced. Part of this assignment is writing in a brief amount of time. So this is a 3-page paper that you are writing. All right, it's got to be 3 pages. You want to go. You don't want to go over at all, and barely under. So think about 2 3/4 to 3 pages is what you're aiming for. Again, you want to pick a topic that is strongly opinionated, persuasive, and something that you genuinely care about, because that makes this project a lot easier. The scope of this project can be anything. I've had people do, climate change and these massive, massive problems facing the world, but it can also be really small and really local. The need for a more salad options at the UWL cafeteria, the need to include this kind of class or not have this kind of class in a degree. So it could be something really small and really local, or it could be something massive and big that you want to talk about. It does not matter. All right. What matters is that you are able to convince me that your side is right within 3 pages. Here's the basic format. You tell me the issue you want to correct. Op-eds are about solving problems, so the first thing you have to do is identify a problem. All right. Tell me why that problem is important. In other words, what's the point of me worrying about a problem if no one is affected by it? Right? So use supporting evidence to tell me why your issue is important. Tell us how, very specifically, you would correct the issue. Op-eds are calls to action. I, as the reader, need to have a specific action in mind when I finish reading the piece. In other words, if you're let's take something massive like climate change. And of course, if you're doing climate change, you want to narrow that down to a very small part of climate change, but still climate change. When you say climate change, I want to say all right, I have to go right now and put solar panels on my roof because that is what's going to help this problem. You need to give the reader a plan of action for solving the problem, and you need to support that plan of action with evidence. Right? Part of your 3 pages should be a counter argument. Now, we talked about counter argument in this week's lecture. The counter argument is where you anticipate the opposition's talking points and responses, and you bring those up ahead of time, and you explain why they are wrong. And again, you need to prove that your solution will work with supporting evidence. Supporting evidence is all over this thing. You're going to have support. And remember, we talked about how broad, for a non-academic paper like the op-ed, we talked about how broad your supporting evidence can be. Personal experience is fine. Movies, literature, these are good. History are good. Data also good. And remember, the best thing is to do is kind of use a mix of all of them because, it's more successful to the reader. Your UWL tuition pays for a subscription to the New York Times. if you want to activate that subscription, here is the link. Just go to that link and you can activate your subscription. And from there, you can access the complete archives, including most recent opinion editorials from the New York Times. The New York Times editorial section is the gold standard of editorial sections in the world. It is an excellent place to be kind of looking at both how to write an editorial and also some possibilities of what you could write about. All right. Also, the La Crosse Tribune has an editorial section that you could look at for more local ideas and local issues. All right. So, it's a persuasive genre. You are going to persuade me. You're going to persuade me with both the kinds of evidence you use, the strength of your argument and logic, the strength of your thesis, and the kind of persuasive language that you use to write your paper. It's going to address a specific problem in the world. You're going to identify it as a problem, prove the problem is real. That should be real, not read. Explain why the reader should care, and offer a specific and actionable solution. It's going to be 2 3/4 to 3 pages, double spaced. This is intended to force you to write compactly. It could be in either MLA or APA, as long as you choose one and stick with it the whole time. I don't care which one you use. This project is going to include an outline first. All right, we're going to talk about outlines next week, but know that the first thing that we are going to turn in for this project is, to me, an outline where you're going to basically just list in outline form your thesis, your points, and your evidence. So, be thinking about what you want to write about. Contact me if you're having any troubles. Have a great day.